Parental discretion is advised for the following program. The Now and Then Show with your host, Odd Bob Avery, is made possible by grants from the following businesses. Custom videography, photography, and design here on the North Coast. Southern Exposure, a full-service salon where everyone goes to look good. PM's Cafe, late night eats for late night people. John Chamberlain, signs, murals, advertising, now located at Casper Inn in beautiful downtown Casper. And the Casper Inn, the finest liquors and live entertainment in Mendocino County. And Manic'n, probably one of the hottest rock and roll bands on the Northern California coast that played locally.
Here on the coast, when it rains, it pours! And when cabin fever sets in, what do people do? They wonder, they ponder, and they realize it must be time for those three special words live from Mendocino. It's the Now and Then Show, starring that ever-shining, multifaceted jewel of a guy, Odd Bob Avery. This is Meg Harris inviting you to stay tuned for the next 60 minutes and enjoy Bob's guests, romance novelist Neva Beach, singer, guitar player Billy Shay, teen advocate Kathy O'Grady, high school students Chris Forsythe, Dan Breed, Brendan O'Grady, with live music provided by the constantly modulating Now and Then Orchestra. And now, here he is, a guy who knows more jokes than Johnny Carson and David Letterman combined, except he can't repeat them on television. Odd Bob Avery!
All right. We have a new band tonight, as you might have noticed. A reconstituted band, if anybody can, Manic'n, right? Welcome, guys. All right. And we have a wonderful audience tonight. Yes? Come on. Yay!
Yay! We love the audience.
Meg is back. All right. Okay. And we have a great lineup of guests for you tonight. We have romance novelist Neva Beach. Now, I want to tell you that... Oh, okay, come on, let's go. There you are. All right. I was going to say it's not my thing, you know, but we'll find out, won't we? Page 94. I know about page 94. I read the book. Okay, and we're going to have Billy Shay with us tonight, who's a fantastic musician. He's going to play. He's going to join the band. All right, yeah. And we're going to have Kathy O'Grady with us tonight. And Kathy is a teen advocate, and she's brought along several of her skateboarding teens who are going to appear right here on our big stage, right here on the Now and Then Show. So stay with us. We're going to have fun. Is it good?
I can't believe it. I know.
The Pacific Ocean. Magnificent, isn't it? Imagine how that would look with oil derricks popping up everywhere. Well, that's what Exxon would like. But we at Magellan Gasoline have another idea. Seawater. Pure. Natural. We don't want to rape the environment. We want to become one with it. Using our patented Wellington Raffinator, we've devised a process which extracts the petroleum byproducts from plankton and delivers to you a gasoline so high in octane that it was considered for rocket fuel at one point. Your car will run smoother and nicer and faster and cleaner and better than ever. We guarantee it. We're Magellan. Our helicopters are going daily out into the fields, searching for the highest grade plankton beds. Because we think you're worth it. And remember, oil and water don't mix.
The weather today is much like it was yesterday and probably will be tomorrow. Variable temperatures with chance of changing cloud patterns. Patches of wind gusts with occasional rain puddles. This has been Sam Blur with an S.T.O.P. TV weather update.
You guys are all right.
You're great.
Say, aren't they fine?
Just love them.
Well, welcome to the Now and Then show. Meg is back. We missed you last time, Meg. You were gone. Where did you go? What do you mean? Of course we did.
Oh, well, that's good, I guess.
You guess?
Did you have a good show?
Yeah, we had a fine show, but we missed you.
Did you miss me?
Yeah.
All right.
Where'd you go?
Oh, you don't even want to know. So boring.
I didn't want to know. That's why I asked. No, I want to know where you went.
I went to Michigan.
And you skied, yes? Michigan?
Okay, I went there. I skied a little. I ice skated and I skated, yeah. That's how you say it.
I skated. Ice skated. Okay, we have these choices. All right.
What else did I do?
I don't want to know. Sorry.
Nothing
You were gone a couple of weeks, right?
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
I saw a good old mom and pop.
We're talking about vacation here, folks. 3 weeks. Let's hear it for Meg, who's probably the only one in the room who's had a 3-week vacation. All right.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay?
Okay. We don't want to hear anything more about it now, all right?
I don't blame
Aren't
you.
you sorry you brought it up?
Well, I wish I could have told you I went to Hawaii or something, you know.
Oh, well, I don't know about that. Aren't you going to ask?
Actually, it was pretty nice, though.
Good.
Had a
Okay.
good time.
We
I'm
got
glad
some
to be
letters
back.
from home. I'm glad you're back.
Thanks.
Welcome. You missed me. Anyway, there we go. Okay, we're going to do our favorite part of the show now, our letters from home. And we have several tonight, so I'm going to try and zip right through these because we got some wonderful guests coming up for you here on the show, and we don't want to waste too much time with this kind of nonsense. But, dear Odd Bob, you guys sure do put on some good shows. I don't call that wasting time, right? Okay. They seem to reflect a lot of community involvement. I can't help but wonder how much work goes into preparing a show and who are the people behind the scene. What are the names of the guys in the band? Just curious, Mendocino. Well, let me introduce to you our band, who is essentially Manic'n tonight. Tony Vito. There's Tony. Okay. John Bush.
Kind of guy.
All right. Woo! Michael Ward down there on the end. He's the guy. He's the guy with the flash fire in his hair there. Okay. Jeff Walsh.
All right.
And Kevin Fraser. And we'd like to welcome Manic'n to the show. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
It's a pleasure. Okay, next letter. Dear Odd Bob, while down there in Mendocino visiting, I saw one of your shows. Only one? I was so impressed, I was wondering if you might have a job for me. I'd like that. I do writing, photography, and have a good sense of humor. Boy, do we have a job for you. That psychic healer, Aline. Uh-oh. Boy, if she's any sample of what you Mendocino folks are like, I'm ready, baby. Talking about combining body, mind, and spirit, and visualizing things you'd like to change, wow. I didn't know people could really do that stuff. Freezing my buns off. Chester Cartwright in Fairbanks, Alaska. Well, you know, Aline is a wonderful person, and she was a lot of fun to have on the show. And I know why you like her, Chester, because she had that full-length hair coat came all the way down to here. You know, you and she could spend a lot of warm evenings together in Alaska, and if you will write to the show here, I'd be glad to give you her address.
His name is Chester?
Yeah, that's what it said, Chester Cartwright. He's one of the bonanza people, you remember? I had to move from the Ponderosa to Alaska. Okay, dear Odd Bob, your producer makes me flip. He's so debonair and commanding, he could command me anytime, honey. Does he make blind dates? Well, he goes out occasionally. Does he have a fan club? Tell him to meet me after the show on the corner of Lansing and Ukiah Streets and we can talk about it. I'll be wearing a red rose behind my left ear. Faithfully yours, Louise.
Oh, that poor woman. Oh, I want to help that gal.
Dear Odd Bob, do you know what really burns my britches? Not seeing more of that Mikey Rooney guy. He's a real wise guy, like Sage, man, really cool. He's made me realize how ridiculous it all is, and so I decided to give it all up, because as he says, I'm not getting any younger. Where you been all my life, Mikey? Sage Sue from Sault Ste. Marie, which was once Albion. You know where Sault Ste. Marie is?
It's pronounced Sault Ste. Marie. I'm sorry.
Sault Ste. Marie?
Yes, it's in Michigan.
Oh, as in Albion Sioux.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, it's in Michigan. Right. Thank you. I'm glad you corrected me. I used to say Paradigm too, you know. Okay, we're going to take a short break right now. Yes? Very short break. Do we have another letter? No, we don't. One. Oh, yeah, we do have another letter.
Did anybody ever tell you were really odd, Bob?
I've been reminded from time to time. Did you have to bring that up? You're right. I counted 5, and there are actually 4. I always thought these letters were made up. Until I talked to someone who had written to you. So I thought I'd put my best pen forward. I had only seen a few of the shows as I'm rather busy, but then I was renting movies a couple of weeks ago and ran across a complete collection of the Now and Then shows for rent at the Visual Feast in Mendocino. I've rented all of them since then. I thought she was busy. And am thrilled at the leaps in quality of everyone involved, although I miss Bugs and his input. He and Garth were quite a comedy team. Anyway, thanks for making the shows available to anyone with a VHS VCR. Keep up the quality work. Heidi Olson. Heidi, thank you very much. And as a matter of fact, that's a true story. The Now and Then shows are available on VCR cassette tapes at the Visual Feast in Mendocino. So if you'd like to rent them, they're dirt cheap and a lot of fun. All right, so we're going to take a break right now, and then we'll be back with Meg and Neva and Billy and a whole bunch more things. So stay with us.
Hi, we're on the Mad Cat Tour going to New York. We're behind schedule. We've been up all night, but aren't I still smiling?
You know, after 4 sets of heavy rock and roll music, I like to drink myself. Forget it. I said heavy. I shouldn't say heavy.
No.
You know, folks. Sorry, Michael.
Okay, take 2 and action.
You know, folks, they always told me. Wait a minute.
Okay, keep going.
Get my t-shirt straightened out here.
Heavy.
When I get thirsty, there's only 2 words I want to hear. When I get thirsty, bring me that heavy beer. Heavy, 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 bring me that heavy beer. heavy. I'm gonna get on out of here.
And now, a few words from Mikey Rooney.
You know what I hate? When I'm telling somebody something and the thought just goes by like it was never there. Like, you know what I hate?
Welcome back. All right. We have a very special guest for you right now. This is Neva Beach. She is the author of a novel, a romance novel, a genre which I'm not sure I understand, even though I read this book. But I'd like to introduce her right now so we can get into this and kind of figure out what romance novels are all about. Let's welcome, with a very big hand right now, romance novelist Neva Beach. Maybe I understand after all, I'm not sure.
Romance.
Yes, romance.
Romance isn't understood, Bob. Experienced.
Oh boy. Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready? Are you ready, Meg?
I think so. Whenever there's romance
You've
involved, I'm
you've
ready.
written a book, a published book, which is a whole lot more than I can say, you know, or a lot of us around here. And this is called To the Highest Bidder, which sort of implies something tantalizing. You know, the title is really tantalizing.
I'm sure my editor would be happy to say. I didn't name the book.
You didn't name the book? What was your title?
Sometimes
To the lowest bidder?
Splendor.
Sometimes Splendor?
Isn't that good?
No, it's sometimes a splendor.
I thought I had
Let's
class.
see if we hold it this way. No, I want to know how you got interested in romance genre and what made you decide to write a romance book.
Money.
Well, what about porn or, you know, hardcore
You said
detective?
you read the book.
I did. No. I read page 94.
Yeah, read page 94. Everybody's going to run right out and get page
No.
94.
There's
Tear it out,
there's
put the
nothing
book
pornographic
back.
in this book.
There's no what?
Nothing pornographic
No,
in
no,
this book.
there isn't. It's kind of verbal airbrushing below the waist. You can't. You
Yeah.
can say just about as much here on television as you can write in that. I got interested in romance writing because I had never written any fiction before, and had decided that writing fiction was probably the only way I was ever going to be able to afford to stay in Mendocino if I didn't want to make beds or tend bar. And so I looked around, I looked at a lot of books, did some very cold-blooded research, and romance was the quickest way to get published. This is a earn while learning project for me.
Is it really a kind of a cold-blooded formula approach to writing?
It's not cold, but I kept myself going through it by making little jokes. People are named after people that make me laugh
noticed
in it. You know, various people make
You
me
left me out.
I left you out. Well, you're welcome. There are more.
Well, I mean, you know, a little bit of fame can go a long way. I mean, even in a romance novel.
They're not people.
No.
They're formula books, but that doesn't mean that there's a questionnaire and you fill in the blanks. If it did, they wouldn't pay that.
Seems
much.
close to me, though, sometimes.
Well, what they say is they tell you how old your people can be, roughly what kinds of occupations they can have, what kinds of problems they cannot have, how the story's got to end, where it has to be set. Then they say be totally original.
I want to know what kind of problems they can't have.
Substance abuse problems. Let's see. No, gee, I should have brought some of the guidelines for you.
Oh, I wish you had.
Oh, they're funny.
You must remember, though, because they made you rewrite this thing 3 times, right?
Oh, at least 3.
At
But
least three.
that was partly because I was so ignorant. I just no. I thought of the purplest prose I could think of and put it in, and some of it they didn't mind, and some of it they minded. Yeah.
So what got
But
boiled down to was page 94, right?
They never made me rewrite my sex scenes.
A credit to you, my dear, I must say.
And I'm so glad. Except that they did ask me to put in birth control. Now,
Who's laughing back there?
I thought it was horrible. You can't imagine.
For what? I mean, and where? For
They
what
apparently
reason?
all, see, with these kinds of, did you notice here? Let me show you. Right here in the front. These are very chummy. The people who read these form a huge club. They all, lots of them actually
Oh, I know
subscribe.
that, yeah. I
So
mean,
it
I've
says
seen
here,
them flocking through the supermarket and they're,
says-
a basket full of books.
That's right.
It's truth. It
It
is
says
truth.
here,
This is a whole
please
underground thing you've got going here, people.
overground.
Overground.
You're
Okay,
underground.
overground.
You keep forgetting that.
Oh, that's 88.
No, see, they say, dear reader, please write to us, tell us what you want, and they do, the readers write. Well, finally they wrote and they said, we have to worry about birth control, why don't they? So all of a sudden, this happened between the time I wrote my book and they actually finished it. So I had to go back and figure out what in the world they did about birth control. It was difficult.
What did they do?
Nothing.
That's
But they
birth
had to
control
worry.
is, isn't it?
There was no way they could have done birth control. I mean, she was in the backwoods with no men around for 2 years, and he was used to women taking care of that sort of thing. So there wasn't any way they could, I've got to watch my step here.
Really, I mean, this... You might get interested in this genre. You never know.
What I made them do is wait and worry.
I'm sorry. What you started to say about people that read these books, they actually subscribe to them. Can you describe your average reader to these books?
I'll be able to do it better in a little while. I'm told that I'm going to get dozens, if not hundreds, of letters from fans. So no doubt I'll know more about who reads my particular book. Most romance readers are women between 35 and 45 who have some college, who don't watch television. Interesting, isn't it?
That is interesting.
That's to their credit.
Over half of
Oh,
them
no,
were.
what am I saying?
They
This
don't
isn't
watch
television.
Right. Well, the only thing they watch is the television.
Oh, yes, thank you.
But isn't that a surprise, man?
All right.
That is a surprise. To tell you the truth, picture, a chewing gum kind of girl who watches the soaps and reads her romance novels at the same time and screams at her kids in the background saying,
Throwing
"Shut up, let
throwing
me
the
read my
quiche in the
book."
microwave, or,
Right.
the cat to dry it off.
And maybe that's not fair. How do you take that? This is
I
the first romance novel you've written. Yeah?
Yes, it's the first one that's published. I'm working on the third right now. But I haven't read much romance since I was a kid. And back then they weren't these kinds. They didn't publish, these people publish, just my publisher publishes 12 a month, 144 a year. This will be off the stands in another 2 weeks. Except in Mendocino where everybody can get it from.
Right, and they can get it signed, too, if they want to, if they'll look you up, right?
Yeah, I guess, until my hand wears out.
Oh, it probably will.
People have ideas. Let me, because Meg, I didn't think I really answered that. I don't have any problem with it. Some people carry around plain brown wrappers. Some people are really addicted to them, but it's one of those things like, I'm not a romance reader, but.
Right.
What do you think you've opened up for yourself?
Oh, I hope a very large bank account.
You're right. Good for you.
Therein lies the bottom line of romance novels. Thank you,
It's,
Neva.
there's lots of money in it, Bob.
Is there?
And
Yeah? Lots of
hopefully
money?
romance.
Can you teach me how to write?
I didn't think you needed to be taught, but I could try.
Okay, get on. Let's get together later.
Me too, Neva.
We'll go over page 94 of Neva's new book, To the Highest Bidder.
But can't I tell people where to buy for?
I wish you
came all
would.
this way. Tony's books, Tony.
Let's get
Gallery Books and the Book Loft in Mendocino because Safeway's all sold out.
All
No
right.
kidding. All right. How about the close out?
I don't know. People who
Treasure
know
Island?
where to buy ecstasy romances probably know. I think
Yeah,
Rexall
Ecstasy
maybe.
Romances then. It's a well-known.
It's a nice cover, too. I mean, they did a fine job for it, I think. Okay,
Great.
thank you very much, Neva, for being with us, and we wish you all the best in romance in the future.
We do.
Forever and ever. Do it.
Just one more little
And
quick question,
you will
okay?
get to get, one quick question.
Is your real life as exciting and romantic as your book?
At least.
All right.
Nice. We'll be right back.
That was great.
Carrie Winsome had been a budding 17-year-old girl when she first met Marcus Emery, soon after her parents had died, and she thought her heart would break. Then Marcus had moved. Now a successful businesswoman, she felt she could control the old urges his mere presence brought out. Now he had returned. Why had he come back into her life after 7 long, lonely years? The tenacious thread that held them together over the years seemed mutual. She felt comfortable with him, and he with her. But was it too easy? Was there something hidden? Look for the newest Dark Passage romance novel, and the surprise ending foreshadowed throughout the book.
OPEC oil producers shudder as oil prices plummet and may ask U.S. for government-subsidized loans. More later. This is Sam Blur with an S.T.O.P. TV News Brief.
What's wrong with this picture? Yes? Okay. As musicians are wont to do, they like to spoof once in a while. You know, we know nothing about spoofing here on the Now and Then show, never do it. But right now I'd like to introduce you to somebody a lot of you have known from the past. He's been here on and off for a long time. He's a very fine musician. He's going to sing for you right now. His name is Billy Shay, and we're going to come back and talk to him after he sings for us. Let's welcome Billy Shay.
Let me see you again. Let me talk to you, my friend. Talking from the heart, that's a wonderful way to start. And if love's heaven sent, you know that we can stay together. Said, isn't it the truth? Don't you see the light? Tell me that you feel it, darling. Hold me in your arms tonight. Let me hold your hand. Tell you I love you again and again. Then with God on our side, we will always be satisfied. Life will be what it should be. Me for you and you for me. Said, isn't it the truth? Don't you see the light? Tell me that you feel it, darling. Hold me in your arms tonight. Said, isn't it the truth? Don't you see the light? Tell me that you feel it, darling. Hold me in your arms tonight. Let me see you again. Let me talk to you, my friend. I'm talking from the heart. That's a wonderful way to start. And if love's heaven sent, well, you know then we can stay together. Isn't it the truth? Don't you see the light? Tell me that you feel it, darling. Hold me in your arms tonight. Yes, isn't it the truth? And don't you see the light? Tell me that you feel it, darling. Hold me in your arms tonight.
Come over here and join us. Oh, just throw it down on the floor. How are you?
Pretty good, Bob. Nice
Good to see you, man. Have you met Meg before?
No.
Nice to
Meg
meet you.
Harris, Billy Shay. Have a seat, Bill. So, where the hell have you been?
Oh, I had a pretty wild couple of years. I went to...
Speak up a little bit. So
Okay, well, searching and seeking, I wound up going to India and the Philippines, and then I came back and went through a lot of weird stuff from that point, and then...
Wait. You went to Philippines, you went to India, and then you came back and you went through a lot of weird
Well,
stuff.
actually, during that time.
I see,
being
okay,
there, yeah.
all right.
And then came back and still had more weird times, actually, though it's true. And then
Couldn't have been that hard.
it was a really
Was that
pretty,
hard?
it was pretty crazy times. I can't really talk about it. It was so weird, bizarre. But anyway, through that, it was in searching and seeking. I came into the church and then was writing for the last 4 years or so.
A little louder. That's where we're getting you, right up there.
Okay.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Anyways, and so then stayed in Santa Cruz at this point, and Santa Clara. Got a job in a church gardening there. I actually quit playing for about 2 years.
I can't imagine you not playing music.
Yeah.
I've always known you to play music.
Yeah. It was quite a...
But you came back to it.
Yeah.
So whatever you did worked,
Yeah.
I guess.
It's work.
Now what are your plans?
I wrote a music book, system for learning the keys. It's really good.
Guitar or any
instrument.
Any instrument.
Yeah.
Great.
The flashcard system, actually.
Oh, great.
All right. What do you mean, hooray? Don't you remember flashcards? Many people sick?
One of those.
I mean, you know, I don't remember. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
That's all right.
But I personally have a horrible thing with flashcards.
Yeah, well, it's not exactly like the same type of thing. They're sort of study flashcards anyway. It's everybody has a hard time if they're trying to play or improvise. The hardest thing to do is memorize the keys. And if you get through that, the music is really not that bad, you know. And really, the key system, diatonic key system, which is like do to do,
Right.
7 tones, it just is the one key, C, you know, moved half step up through and having different names on it, but it's the same thing over and over again.
Okay, tell me a little bit about how the flashcard system works, where a book doesn't work. And there are all kinds of formulas for learning the different bars of music and what each note represents. Easy does it, you know, and so forth and so on. Why does the flashcard system work where the others don't?
Well, Usually, the books you have, if you go, I've been to school and stuff, you have to go through the whole year to find out what the 7 chords are in the key, what the notes are, how to spell a chord. You know, you got to do the whole thing. Well,
Is this a plot on the part of the teachers?
No, it's not. It's just the way they do it.
Yours is quicker.
Yeah, all books seem to go that way. You know, a lot of times the old books from the old days, like 10, 20 years ago, they give you first string E, F, G, and they give you a little twinkle twinkle, little star, some type of deal, and you play that on that one string for your first month and everything. And people usually drop off by the second week. You know, they're finished with their lessons, and that's it, no more. Well, this is a method which is going to speed all that up, because you learn your scales in one key, and then you by each card spells the major chord of the one key, and then it has the key written out to the 13th degree, which is, everybody wants to know, the 7th, the 9th, the 11th, and the 13th.
That's way beyond me already.
Yeah, but anyway.
Let me ask you, if people want to get a hold of your system, they want to learn music fast, how can they do that? Is it published? Is it available?
It's just getting formulated now. I expect in the next 4 or 5 months
Very soon.
to have it together. I'm going to do it myself for the starters. Print it up and stuff. But they could mail to general delivery, actually, out of Mendocino.
So soon, we're going to have a new music system from Billy Shay, and pretty soon you're going to play with our band again after we have another guest or two here. Okay? Thank you very much, Bill. It's wonderful to see you again.
I'm just letting it drain.
Oh, no wonder I can't see.
Get right here.
Oh, yeah.
yellow doors right there where
That's
we're
it?
yelling. Is there?
That's it?
That's it right there. There's Vito is just carrying some shit out. They're carrying all the shit out now.
That was it, huh?
Should we go take a look?
Yeah, let's go take a look. Where can we park?
Okay, that's what I'm not sure yet. How would I do this? That one way down there. I think what we gotta do is take a right. We're out experiment. We'll take a right here and try to come out, okay?
All right.
Okay, we're going to get serious now, folks. You know, it's something we try and do on every now and then show, and it's rarely successful, but we're going to try right now. Something has been going on in the newspapers recently. We've been reading letters flowing back and forth, and I'm not talking about oil, I'm not talking about water, I'm talking about skateboards, and I'm also talking about teenagers. So I'd like to bring out someone right now who is a teen advocate, a friend of the teens, and there is such a thing. Her name is Kathy O'Grady, and I'd like to welcome her right now so we can talk to her about teenagers, skateboarding, and all kinds of things. Kathy?
I am an advocate. We can't have it be too serious.
Oh, obviously not. Welcome.
Thank you.
How are you? What got you into teen advocacy? That was not my term. Somebody
I
said,
wondered where
here's
that
teen
came from.
advocate. I don't know.
It sounds like I'm running for office, which I'm not.
What are you doing?
I'm working 40 hours a week.
No, I mean, doing what, though?
I'm the secretary at the community school.
Okay.
So I'm around teenagers a lot.
Right. And you care about them, right?
Yeah, I do.
I hear you have quite a reputation for being real understanding with all the kids, and
That's
everybody
right.
seems to really like you and trust you. That's very
good.
nice.
Adults, too.
Yeah, well, I came into work the other day, and there was a little note on the desk that said, "We love you." So that made me feel good, because I was having a terrible
was it
day.
from?
It was from some kid. I could tell by the handwriting.
Oh.
It was spelled right, though.
All right. So it could have been an adult. Could have been.
Could have been.
All right. Tell us why you're here tonight.
I'm here tonight because Mike asked me if I wanted to be on the show.
That's a good reason.
And also, I guess there's been a lot of discussion about kids, about skateboarding, kids hanging out in town.
Okay.
A lot of pro and con. There's a lot of
Well, there always
energy around
is.
teenagers right now.
Well, kids always have a lot of energy, and it has been an ongoing problem in this community that kids, even adults, really don't have a lot of places to go. If you can't go to a bar and hang out, or you can't go to a friend's house and hang out, then where do you go? You don't have many options, you know. There's no place, there's no bars for kids to go to.
That's right.
So what do they do?
Well, we can see what some of them are doing, and I think that's one of the issues, is that some of the kids are real visible in town, in front of Mendoza's, in front of the Melting Pot, and skateboarding. That's what a lot of kids are doing. They're also going to basketball games, they're going to dances, they're going to the beach, they're going to friends' houses, they're going to 4-H club. I mean, they're doing a lot of other things.
It's the visible ones
It's the visible ones.
that bring the attention of the people down on them. Right? They're saying, what are we going to do with these kids because they're out there skateboarding and they're threatened. But I did read in the Mendocino Beacon recently that a letter from someone who said that they very much appreciated the fact that the skateboarders were responding to the criticisms that were being leveled at them, that they had reduced their activity, that they were trying conscientiously to find an alternative to skating down Lansing Street or Main Street or wherever they do. And I find that encouraging. So it means they're not incorrigible.
They're not incorrigible, they're being responsible, and they're seeing themselves as part of the community. And I think to some people, that's one of the issues, is the kids, to a certain degree, feel rejected by the community. They feel like the town has become a tourist town. There's not room for them. Nobody wants them.
But
I don't know that that's entirely true. I'm not saying that that's entirely true.
I think
but
that's
there's
more a
sense
function
of
of being a certain age than being a victim of this community or any other community.
That's partly true, but I've also known kids in this age bracket. I knew kids who were 16 years old 10 years ago who didn't feel that way. So I think there is a bit of a difference. One thing that somebody pointed out was a lot of the kids who've grown up here spend a lot of time in town, even the ones who don't live in town. For a long time, their parents were working in shops or owned shops, and they were in and out of the stores and in and out of the businesses. And that's no longer quite as true, just in terms of numbers.
That's true. Yeah.
So, and I think there's a certain feeling of alienation.
Well, let's
But
find
the fact
out.
that the fact that there was a meeting, and that was one of the things suggested at the meeting, was that they be thoughtful of the rest of the community, and if in curtailing some of the skateboarding or some of the really fancy, flashy stuff, then they would let the rest of the community know that they did care what people thought of them.
Okay.
I think that's great.
If they're willing to do that, then the community should in turn be willing to do something for them if they have this interest in skateboarding.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
they're willing to recognize the needs of the community and not abuse those needs and not run people over, then there should be something done for them. But the problem is, what do you do? It costs a lot of money to build a thing, one of those ramps or whatever it is, or to provide a place where skateboarding is safe. So,
It's
so what
it's
do you
a
do?
real difficult problem. We've done a lot of research. There's one public skate park in the whole United States. That, oddly enough, is at Virginia
Is that a
Beach.
fact? Really?
Yes.
One?
You can skate publicly, but heaven knows what kind of terrible toxins you're going to be picking up in the process.
That's amazing.
That's it. They're all private parks or sponsored by some kind of organizations. For instance, in San Francisco, there's a park that's sponsored by the Boy Scouts.
Is it
They're
private,
under-
though?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you
That
have to be a
doesn't solve the
member
problem,
and
does
paid
it?
admission. Doesn't solve our problem.
Let's bring on some of the aliens now
Okay.
and find out why they are alienated, all right? Are there any skateboarders here? Whoa, radical, all right. Okay, welcome guys. Why don't you introduce yourselves? Let's start here with the spiky one.
My name is Brendan O'Grady.
Hi, Brendan.
Chris Forsythe.
Hi, Chris.
Danny Breed.
Hi, Danny. Okay, welcome you guys. You've heard us talking. You guys have made some effort, apparently, to recognize the needs of the community. How can we help you? I mean, is there a solution to this problem, or is it something you don't see an answer to?
So like the insurance, they can't cover our skateboard.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
That's the major problem.
That's the big one? Okay, it's not so much a place to do it, but being insured to do it.
I think one of the major problems is they just don't want us to skate on the streets. They don't care where we go, they just don't want us skating in front of their stores.
Well, there is some reason for that. You know, I mean, I
I'm
read
not
one
saying
letter in the
most
paper
people
that said
feel that
he was worried about a kid running out and being run over by a skateboard. I mean, a good skateboarder maybe most of the time would be able to avoid a kid running out, but automobiles don't. So what's the difference between a skateboarder shooting down the street or an automobile? Sometimes people get hit. So what do you do? If you can't go on the street, there's got to be some other place to do it.
If they could like repave a back road or something, put some curbs back there, we could pull some tricks off there. That'd be cool.
Is it something you have to do every day? Or could it be something? It is, yeah.
It's kind of like you need your fix every day, right?
Yeah. It's kind of like eating.
Okay, so if there was a place set aside, it's kind of like eating, all right.
Yeah, well, we have to do it today.
I can relate to that.
Is it sort of a spiritual thing?
It's sort of like an adrenaline rush if you pull a bad trick.
Stuff you've never done before or something.
Okay, so one day a week wouldn't cut it, right? They set a place aside, it wouldn't do. All right. So what do we do? But you're willing to work with whoever's willing to work with you, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, insurance may be a real problem because cities can't even get insurance. You know, people can't even get insurance for basic things, much less skateboarding. So that may be just off the wall. And if you can't get insurance, then there's something about finding a safe place to do what you want to do. Maybe that's what we ought to think about doing. Is where can you do what you want to do every day safely without needing insurance? Maybe
And
impossible.
in someone's backyard.
Well, maybe. I mean, who knows where it could be. But the idea here is to get attention, to get people to understand that you are willing to work with whoever's willing to work with you and not be a nuisance and not be a problem and try and solve the problem, right? Okay.
Now you all have meetings, what, once a week?
Thursdays.
Skate meetings every Thursday. What do you do at your meetings?
Today we wrote letters to Is that
Norman Duval.
Yeah.
Who's Norman Duval?
He's the county supervisor, I think. Pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
Right. He's our 5th district supervisor. He's from this community.
So you're pretty serious, sounds like.
Yeah,
What's going on for the next year? What are your next plans?
Get radder.
Ramp.
New trade.
Get water and get insurance, man. That's it.
That's it.
Gnarly, really.
We are, Manic'n is going to play at a fundraising dance for the kids next week at the high school.
Okay, did you hear that? Did you get that? Manic'n is going to play. Well, now, next weekend we're talking about...
Next Friday, 21st.
Okay, so that will be after this showing. Okay.
So they're talking about building a park, right? In Mendocino.
Yeah, a park or a ramp.
A park or a ramp. Which one would you rather have?
The ramp.
Ramps are expensive though, right? Because they have to be
No, not really.
stressed and...
Even still, it's
Not
no
really.
problem.
No.
It still brings up insurance. Insurance is there.
A ramp is a thing that goes uphill very fast. In terms of what
It's
they
like
do.
a 2x4 framework with like lots of pieces of plywood there. So there's like at the most 24 feet of flat space. Then it goes up on both ends.
Okay. And do you guys do what I've seen pictures of skateboarders going up one side of a ramp and going all the way down the other side? You guys can do that? You don't know. You don't have a ramp yet, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You're willing to try and kill yourself to see if you can do that, right? I admire that in a way, you know?
Actually, skateboarding is not all that dangerous, especially compared to football. There's many fewer injuries to skateboarders are under football players.
Well, you don't have some mean, angry big guy trying to kill you, for
Yeah,
instance.
right. It's strictly personal, trying to kill
Okay.
yourself.
Well, the message is that basically we'd like to try and solve this problem. So if any of you out there who are watching us have an idea, something we can do to help the skateboarders, build a ramp, find a place for them to work, get insurance, whatever's necessary, get a hold of us here at the Now and Then show, or write to Norman Duval.
Right to Norman Duval.
Right?
May I say
Who's
one
in
more
charge?
thing?
Yes, please.
One reason the issue came up was because Norman received letters complaining about skateboarding. The next thing that happened was the sheriff presented a possible ordinance to the county supervisors that would outlaw skateboarding in the town of Mendocino. That motion was delayed. Norman was able to delay that motion and say, give us a chance to do a little research, get some more information, see how people feel. But it's coming up again March 25th in front of the Board of Supervisors. So if he can show that there's support for the kids and that there's an effort being made to come up with a solution on our own without involving the county, then that motion will get thrown out. They don't want to interfere with us unless they absolutely have to. So if we can show that we're handling it ourselves, they'll leave us alone.
Okay. Thank you, Kathy, very much.
Thank you, Rob.
Bringing the
Thank you very
problems.
much.
Let's thank you guys. Stay rad, right? Gnarly. Leave
There's some
after
ex-teenagers right
after
over
we
there.
do a little. Yeah, there's some ex-teenagers over there. I'm an ex-teenager myself, as a matter of fact. So here's one. Right. We're going to take a little break here, and then we'll be right back. So don't go away.
A final statement from Mikey Rooney.
Last Sunday, I was walking around Mendocino, dodging tourists, skateboarders, and sunbathers. The sunbathers weren't so hard to walk around. The skateboarders sort of rode around me, but the tourists were an entirely different story. They were swaying from store to store, wine glass in hand, loudly extolling upon the virtues of the view, the wine, and the whales, all in the name of the whale festival. I never did see any whales, but I did see a couple of helicopters. Maybe next year they should have the tourist festival, and then all the locals could have rides in the helicopters and go tourist watching above the town.
Well, by golly, that brings us to the end of this Now and Then show, and I'd like very much to thank Neva Beach for being with us, and also Billy Shay for the fine music. Billy? Yeah. Oh, she's pointing over there. Okay, well, I'll just move right over there. Meg, it's nice to have you back.
It's great to be back. I want to say thank you to everyone. I'm having a great time. I love this show.
Do you know that it's been almost a year since the Now and Then show started?
Really?
Gee, I thought I was the only one that felt that way. It's true. It's been almost a year. So our next Now and Then show is going to be a gala one-year anniversary show. Yes, and Lawrence Bullock is going to be on it. He's here right now. That's why I say that. And we're going to have a lot of other guests too, Lawrence. Yes, and we're going to have some clips from former shows. It's going to be a very exciting time. So we'd like you all to be with us when we have our one-year gala anniversary show next time. Right now, we're going to close tonight's show with Billy Shay one more time, playing with our wonderful Manic'n band. Yes.
Now and Then
All
Orchestra.
We hope will be with us more than now and then. I'd like to say good night to you all. Good night, Meg.
Good night, Bob.
Thanks for being with us. Take it, guys.
Sometimes things look so good. Everything is just as it should. And when complications arise, I cry, oh Lord. I said, now please ease my mind. Oh, it's peace, peace, peace. That's what he brings us. Peace, peace, peace. And love is what we came here for. True love is a key and the door. Without love, I said, now what would life be? True love set us all free. And know it's peace, peace, peace. That's what love brings. It brings us peace. Sometimes I know that things look so bad. I know it's hard, and don't you feel sad? But look around, give thanks you're alive. Yeah, stand up and follow the light. Brings us peace, peace, yeah, that's what we need. It brings us peace, peace, peace. Yeah,
everybody.